So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was fun having all my friends over and, drinking the beers that we made. So it was fun.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
And then you open a brewery.
Yeah.
That was the end of that.
Yeah, I'll never forget it though. Man, it was when we were still extract brewing. We brewed a clone of Ruination IPA from Stone. I love that beer.
Me too.
Wow.
And we kegged it and it was ready to drink. And I had to go to work. And I had one beer before I went to work. And I came back that night and my dad had the two neighbors over and they drank the 5-gallon keg.
Really?
And, oh yeah, and the
Wow.
one neighbor had to have his daughter come pick him up, and he lived 2 houses down. He couldn't walk home 2 houses down.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
But yeah, stuff like that. I mean, you'll never forget memories like that. 'Cause,
No.
that's the cool thing about homebrewing is you can share memories with like that with your friends and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun doing that.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Hot Break Craft Beercast. We are here, episode 24 at Front Porch Brewing. Trevor was kind enough to allow us to come back and bother him again. We didn't get kicked out last time, so that was a good thing. Before we get into the episode today, we are going to talk about some more about food trucks, the upcoming anniversary a little bit, and then some of the beer trends and things that have happened in today's episode. But again, before we get to that, let me introduce the Brew Crew. Joining me as always is Christy.
Hello.
She's producing for us today. Definitely check out her channel on YouTube, Condo's Craft Kitchen. She's got a couple of really cool tasting, cooking videos on there. Not tasting videos, although it was pretty tasty. Definitely check out her video. And, of course, JB of Vexet. JB, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
What do you got going on?
Dude, so I just went to Phoenix Fan Fusion, guys. What a blast. I got this cool shirt here, Boba Fett. You guys want to try some really cool beers. What were the 3 beers you have there?
So the ones that I like that are kind of nerdy are the Alteron. So it's an alt beer, and we named it after Alderaan from Star Wars. Yeah,
Delicious.
great beer. Then the Sneaky Little Hoppitses. I mean, it shouldn't need me to explain it, but yeah, it's a Lord of the Rings reference. And then Phantasmic Beast. It's a Harry Potter, the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them reference. So, yeah, we kind of try and keep it nerdy.
Yeah.
So
if you guys can, after you watch this full podcast, go check out my YouTube video where I pretty much did a vlog and interviewed some of the comic artists.
That was a great video, JB. So
Thank
thank
you,
you
I
for posting
appreciate
that.
it.
That was awesome. Yeah. All right, let's get into today's episode.
Completely unscripted, delightfully unfiltered, and 100% fun. Sit back, relax, and get ready to have a great time as they bring you the latest in beer news, Ben M brewing updates, and general shenanigans. And now, your hosts, the famed Brew Crew.
Yeah, we appreciate you letting us
yeah,
come back in and bother you. And fortunately,
no
you're
problem.
not brewing this time like you were. We threw off your brew day last time, I think.
I can't remember.
You guys were picking up pumpkins.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were roasting the pumpkins at home.
So that would have been September then.
Yeah.
The last time you guys.
I think it
were
was
here.
just
Yeah.
after the anniversary because
Okay.
we were trying to get them before, but we were jam packed
Yeah.
releasing all those new beers
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you did, what was it, 3 or 4 new?
We do 4.
Or every single.
Yeah. So I was thinking maybe more this year, but it's no.
No.
I'm not gonna do that to myself.
Well, you almost kind of have the capacity with the new fermenters and
Yeah,
stuff.
we do, but
it's the
like-
time, and you only have one brew system. And
Yeah, and it's you want to make sure that we have all the stuff that people like to drink other than the new ones
Yeah.
on tap. So, you know,
well, you got to keep your regulars and stuff.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
and your taps are full. I mean,
yeah, I think we have maybe 16 beers on tap.
Yeah.
So I think something like that. I don't know.
it's
So,
hard. I know.
Yeah.
It all runs together.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I get it. But you got some new equipment. So I think, the last time we were here, we were going to come back after the podcast and we are going to kind of shoot some more footage of stuff. But you guys had started construction, tearing down a wall or something, and we're moving things around, and it was not a good time. So we're going to come back. So you got some new equipment.
We did. Yeah, we got 2 15-barrel fermenters and a 15-barrel bright. So that kind of, for us, that's a pretty big deal because it not only helps us keep stock in here, but it also will help us get our beer out the door to other places for people to try,
And you're looking at starting to distribute. Now, you mentioned that you were
Yeah.
got a couple of accounts that you're
Yeah.
testing the waters.
Yeah, we're seeing how it goes. Mellow Mushroom, they always will take our beer, and they're very good to us. They send people our way, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a couple like in the West Valley. Yeah, Tap Savvy has our beer, and so
Where's Tap Savvy at?
and they're in Litchfield Park.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoa, okay.
Yeah,
A little
yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that West Valley? Is it Southwest Valley? I don't know.
It's Litchfield Park.
Yeah.
It's its own.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
its
It's a
own
little
thing.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it. I've never seen a park down there.
How
but
did
it's-
you?
Yeah.
How did you get in with them? Did they approach you, or did you approach them, or how
Yeah.
does that work?
You know, a lot of these guys come up to us at like beer festivals and stuff, and we'll kind of make our contact that way.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So that was kind of
Yeah.
how that
Mhm.
happened. Okay.
yeah.
Oh, speaking of beer fests, so we saw you at the Tomodachi Beer Fest.
Oh, yeah.
Which
Yep.
was that was awesome.
Yeah, it's a good little intimate festival.
It's nice
yeah.
to have it not be this massive thing, and it
cool.
seems much more smaller patron focused.
Yeah, and it's cool that they cap it out at like X amount of tickets, right?
Yes.
And there's what, maybe 12 or 13 breweries, but they're all pretty like hyper local, I would say.
Yes.
So
I think that's key. Is
Yeah.
that they are hyper local. That's a
Yeah.
good way to put that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing from out of town.
right.
And a lot of it is the because you go to some of these beer fests and it's the sale. Those are the big ones.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bigger breweries. It's the sales guy that's pouring beer.
Sure.
You don't have access to the people that make it happen. So the Tomodachi was nice because it was a lot of
Yeah.
the owners and the brewers to be able to have some face
Yeah,
time
and it's cool.
with.
And you know, it's fun because you know, Kitsune is not far from us, so a lot of our regulars attend that. So it's
Yeah.
you know, we get to see them and pour them beer
Yeah.
other than behind the bar here. So it's
Yeah.
fun, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the weather was nice for it too. No,
It was,
I
yeah.
thought it was a great festival. I think
Yeah.
it was the second time.
Yeah, I
He's
think it was
hosted
year
it.
2. Yeah.
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 I think we left in by far that was my best beer festival that I've been to in Arizona.
Yeah.
Because I think all the other ones have just gotten so big that
Yeah.
it's not enjoyable.
Yeah.
And it was really cool too because you do see a lot of, like you said, your locals and your regulars at the fest. So it was kind of like one big party for all
Yeah.
your,
Yeah, it's
your
cool.
customers.
Yeah.
So
And then the hangout afterwards, I hear.
Yeah, I usually can't stay for that. I have to go.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Well, I'm sure packing everything up and then heading back this direction kind of takes some time.
It's not, you know, that's hard, but you know, like we have a babysitter for our kids, so
I
I
gotcha.
got to get back.
You got to get
yeah.
back. Yeah. Darn responsibilities.
I know,
The
right?
kids ruin everything.
They do.
Adulting.
Yeah,
I know.
adulting, yeah.
What the hell?
So,
That's something they don't tell you when you have kids.
Yeah.
It'll change your life.
yeah.
Don't do it. No, but it is a blessing. I'm joking, of course. I don't want any haters.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll get some negative comments and yeah.
How could you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian's such an asshole.
Yeah.
Tell me something I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, the beer fest was fun, and it was nice to have kind of that smaller feel to it.
Yeah, of course.
So it was fun to kind of go and check that out. Do you have any other beer fests that are coming up that you guys are going to be taking part of? I know it gets harder to
Yeah.
do that kind of stuff. It's
Well,
a
'cause
lot
they-
of work.
yeah,
It's a lot of
especially-
expense.
Especially in the summer, right? Because usually they're like up north, like Flagstaff
Yeah.
or wherever they may be. But like for us, that's tough.
Yeah.
You know, a 2-hour trip there, 2-hour trip back. You know, 6-hour festival. You know, it's tough.
That's
a
an
lot.
exhausting
Yeah.
day.
Unless you
Yeah.
stay up there for the night, it's just like for us, can't do it.
It's just not
Yeah.
not in the cards.
Yeah.
And especially
Not
when you got
yet.
everything going
Yeah.
on back here.
Yeah,
I mean,
not yet. Someday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'd like to, but it's just one of those things where, you know, the people you see back there right now, that's, you know, 3/4 of the people that work here. So
Right.
I think we're missing one person. So it's more than that. It's like 90%,
Yeah.
you know? So it's tough.
yeah, that's what that's what stood out to us last time when we came here too, was how everyone is like family.
Mhm,
Pretty
yeah.
much that helps run this. So I can see why that'd be difficult.
Yeah.
but-
Even when we do have people cover the bar, it's my brother-in-law, it's his sister and her partner. So they come here and they're both investors and they're family. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's cool.
That's cool.
It's cool. Yeah. So,
It definitely makes it a kind of a different environment because I don't know of any other breweries that we've talked to anyway that are that much. It's family. I mean, you know, Lake Pleasant obviously
Right,
is,
yep.
is you know the I'm losing their names now, but the two guys.
yeah, Nick and Dustin.
Nick and
Thank
Dustin.
you. I'm like
Yeah.
Mr. Tall and
Them
Handsome
and- yeah.
and Mr. Bearded.
Yeah, them and their wives work there.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Cool
cool.
and cooler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool and cooler.
Yeah.
No, so it's definitely, you know, husband and wife team, and they've
Yeah.
got their brothers and sisters and stuff. But
it's
they do have other people that are behind the bar that aren't just family.
Right.
So they're not
Right.
quite as unique as you guys. You guys are definitely, you know, in the family, which. You
Yeah,
know, like I said, I work with my family too,
Yeah.
so it's, you know, it's a blessing sometimes.
Yeah,
and sometimes it can
pros
be
and
tricky.
cons, yeah, for sure.
It's a
definitely.
family secret that I'm his stepbrother.
There you go.
Illegitimate brother.
It's like that movie Step Brothers.
I thought it was twins.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to go that
Oh,
far.
okay, all right.
Has to be believable, Brian. Are you working on any new beers?
Yeah, actually, well, not quite. Here the next month, I'm gonna have to start rolling out the anniversary stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because so I'll be
coming
doing so I'll be doing that probably in like 3 weeks. So like right now, I'm focusing on making sure I have a full tap list for that. So I have other things for people to drink.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Do you know what you're going to be releasing, or is that part of the planning? Is saying, okay, I got my main staples done. Now let's look at the 4 I'm going to do and figure out what those are.
So I have 3 figured out. I'm not sure on the 4th.
Okay.
But I'm gonna do like a double West Coast IPA.
Okay.
Uh,
What hops?
hops to be determined. I'm
Okay.
not sure yet.
Okay.
I have an idea, but we'll see. And then I'm gonna do like a hazy IPA because I'm trying to figure out what beers are gonna sell the most at these things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's unfortunately whether you like hazies or not, people buy them,
Right?
right? So and then we're gonna do a cherry chocolate vanilla stout.
What?
Oh,
Yeah,
that
and
sounds amazing.
The 4th,
Yeah.
I'm like maybe some sort of pilsner, just to keep it light.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. 'Cause
Well,
last-
those first
yeah.
3 those are pretty big.
yeah.
A lot of
So,
flavor packed in all
Sure.
those.
So I'm thinking something
Wow,
lighter.
That's good.
Yeah. So, like last year, we did a New Zealand style pilsner for the anniversary. People loved it. So this year we won't go that route, I don't think, but we will do a pilsner.
Yeah.
So I think I got to brew that like yesterday though. If I'm gonna do a pilsner and get it ready in
You
time,
gotta lager it and you got to get it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll probably end up doing that in a week and a half. So
Gosh, I can't believe it'll be here before we know it.
yeah.
It's just around the corner.
Yeah.
Wow. And so much planning goes into the anniversary stuff too. I'm always amazed with.
Yeah,
what-
we have live screen printing. We usually do like some sort of anniversary glass and then all the beers plus
Yeah.
the labels. The naming is really
Are
hard.
you doing T-shirts again this year?
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
And
We're-
you were screen printing those.
Yes.
On site.
Yep, on Saturday, like
Yeah.
the Saturday of the anniversary. So we have Goodfellas merch. They handle almost all of our merch. And they come here and set up live screen printing, and it's really cool.
That is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other plans as far as you got your anniversary aside, but so you got your new equipment coming in. You're looking to maybe start teasing about distributing some of your stuff.
Yeah.
Any other kind of big news or plans that are coming, or is that really just
No, we're just trying
all
to.
consuming at this
Yeah,
point?
pretty much. Yeah. No, we're just trying to figure out what we need to do.
Yeah.
And yeah. go
Have you
from
guys
there.
released dates yet, or for the anniversary?
Oh yeah, August 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
Okay.
I think.
Awesome.
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Otherwise, it'll be I think that's it. So
Well, count us in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it over here no
for
matter
sure.
what.
Yeah.
Definitely.
yes,
I'm in town.
yeah, and we got good food trucks lined up for it too. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
Yep.
The food trucks. Yeah. Speaking of beers, we've got a couple things that we're trying today. So, and I'm horrible with names. You grabbed the
this is the Sagaroo,
which is what I got.
Yep, that's
The
what you
same
two were
one,
drinking.
which is a West Coast
Yeah.
IPA.
Yep,
Citra, Mosaic,
and Cascade. Yep.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
That is-
nice, easy drinking West Coast.
Yes.
Not like, I think the days are gone of like the crazy high IBU West Coast.
Yeah.
Like the Stone beers back in the day.
Wipe your taste buds off.
Yeah, so I think-
Yeah.
This is more approachable, and I think people really actually appreciate that. So
I think there's something to be said for something that's not
Yeah.
over the top
Yeah, yeah.
crazy because you have one, you're like, I'm done.
yeah,
That's it.
this is more balanced.
This
and-
is balanced.
Yeah.
You can enjoy it. It's definitely got some
Yeah.
flavor to it. Like
Yeah.
there's no joke.
This would taste amazing either with a steak or
There
a
you go.
burger.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Be awesome with the burger and fries.
That'd be really good with a burger. That would just clean the palate.
Oh man.
Oh, some French fries,
yeah.
the grease.
Making me hungry.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we didn't eat lunch before we came, so
Yeah, me neither.
we're all like, oh, hungry.
What's the name of the sour?
You were doing was
It's
it the
the prickly pear lime.
prickly pear lime?
So
Yeah.
I'm not a sour beer fan, and I actually love this beer.
It's I did a little taster of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not over the top sour.
Yeah.
Is it? How did you sour it? Is it like a kettle sour or
No.
a special type of yeast?
Yeah, it's
or...
a certain yeast we use now. We blend it with a different strain. Otherwise, if you use it straight up, that yeast, it's going to be like, it's going to make you pucker.
Yeah.
The first time I used it, we did it with that beer, actually. And it tasted like those Warheads back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I actually like Warheads
Yeah,
too. So.
yeah. It was pretty intense. Like, I liked it, but a lot of the people, they're like,
it was
"This-"
a little too intense.
Yeah.
So you're not using any bacteria at all in this.
Not
It's
anymore.
Because I've
Yeah.
heard about a yeast that does do the sour and it
Yep.
does the kind of the acidic
Yep. Yep.
whatever to it. That
yeah.
seems a lot safer.
It is, and it's faster.
Yeah.
Like when I was doing the kettle sours, you have to put in the bacteria and then like babysit it to keep it at a certain temperature until it gets down to the right pH.
Mhm.
Now we don't have to do that. We just pitch the yeast as normal, and boom, the yeast produces lactic acid as it ferments.
Yeah.
So
And it's not over the top. It's got a nice sharpness to it,
Yeah.
which I think is one of the draws of the sours. It's that
Yeah.
acidity that brightens it up so much.
Yeah.
But we've done. Christy and I did some sours. I think it was from Barrel Works a number of years ago. I took the enamel off my teeth.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Some of them are
God.
pretty crazy.
Oh, it
Yeah.
hurts your stomach and stuff. But that, I think, has got enough tartness to make it bright, to make it crisp, without it being so acidic
Yeah.
that you hate your life afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. I had this bottle someone brought me from England, and it was too much for me. And the guy I shared it with loved it, and he said it reminded him of painting Easter eggs because it was like so vinegary. And I'm like, whatever, man. If that's what you like,
This would taste good with fish and chips or salmon.
there you go.
Kind of roasted
Yeah.
salmon.
Oh yeah,
Be delicious.
yeah. We got to feed you before we come to these.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't.
But
like,
no, I love the food pairings though, because he's
Yeah.
a foodie.
Yeah.
He loves food. He's good at
Heck yeah.
pairing, and he's got good
you
taste.
go.
So I think those are good tips and stuff. So we'll have to wait for the right food truck to come.
Right?
And
Yeah.
pair that with.
Yeah.
with some
There's nothing like a
seafood.
good salmon food truck in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
It's really more salmon jerky at that point.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Salmon jerky.
And Christy, you're doing the same.
Yeah, so I have been trying different seltzers at every brewery I go to recently, but I tried the one here and it was amazing. But then I tried the Sagaru and I'm like, okay, no, I have to drink
Yeah.
this because every time I come here and been on any other podcast, I always mention how much I love the West Coast style and not so much the hazy style. And this reminds me of what got me into craft
Sure.
beer. Like it kind of reminds me of like old school like Green Flash West Coast
Oh,
IPA.
okay,
yes.
It's just traditional, but
Yeah.
it's so balanced and good. I could drink this all day.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good.
She might actually. You
Yeah.
may have to kick us out before. Speaking of seltzers, so like Christy said, we've done a couple of brews with trying a lot of the seltzers and stuff, and that's really become more prevalent. And you might have had the blueberry one last time we were here. I don't remember, so forgive me. But it is a good blueberry seltzer. It's dry, it's crisp, it's not overly sweet. The fruit flavor comes through really nice.
Yeah, I agree. That's the thing we like about the seltzer. The seltzers we make, they're not sweet. That's all it is basically fermented sugar water at the end of the day with added flavorings, but it gets crisp enough where even though we add the the fruit, which does sweeten it up, but it the high carbonation really
That helps to it acidifies it. The
and
carbonic acid, and that kind of
how-
helps to balance the
Yeah, I mean, it
sweetness.
ferments like all the way out too, so it's gonna be
Yeah, I
super
bet.
dry. And
Yeah.
So that definitely is a big part of it too.
How much of the seltzer do you go through? Is that
It's not like a big seller for us, but it's nice to have.
yeah?
It's just another
It's
option.
an option.
Yeah. So
Which I think is the biggest thing when we've talked to a lot of the breweries in the craft beer industry. It's not just about the beer. I mean, you really have to have variety and none of the
Yeah.
weird, crazy. Thank God we got away from all the weird, bacon beer,
oh yeah,
glitter beer.
What's wrong with bacon beer?
Nothing. It's delicious.
yeah, yeah.
People are tending to go more for the flavor, the less of the big stuff, and
Sure.
occasionally you throw one out there just for kind of to be fun. But I think the breweries and the people are starting to really get back into more of the classic traditional
Yeah, I think so,
kind of
too.
things. But
Yeah.
having the variety of seltzers, which is kind of a new thing for
Yeah,
breweries,
yeah.
gives you some flexibility and I don't think there's anything wrong with. Some breweries are resistant to that. Like, no, it's not craft beer.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's still
Yeah,
craft.
yeah.
It's craft. It's still being brewed. It's still being made, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's a
Yeah.
fermented beverage.
I mean, I had this seltzer in it was in it wasn't San Diego, it was Anaheim, and it was a 20% rum barrel aged coconut
Whoa.
seltzer.
Whoa.
And it was on nitro, and it was like it was ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's on nitro.
Yeah, it blew my mind. So it at the end of the day, it's not beer, but it still is a crafted
It's a
beverage.
craft, yeah, that
so,
people are making
yeah.
and fermenting, and
Yeah.
it's not like the commercial ones where it's filtered water with some
Yeah.
vodka thrown in it or
Yeah.
some grain and alcohol.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think it'd be a different story if it was just a complete knockoff of like a White Claw or a Truly's because
Sure.
when every brewery I've noticed, I prefer the seltzers through the breweries because it just does not taste artificial.
Right.
That kind of medicinal chemical flavor.
yeah, I mean, the fruit that we had in our seltzers is the same fruit that we put in our sours and whatever else we do. Right?
Yeah.
So it's real fruit.
Yeah.
So, but
Which could be challenging,
Yeah.
especially doing stuff at scale.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
Well-
I'm flashing back to your guys' pumpkin beer that you guys were roasting.
yeah, yeah. Well,
That's
yeah.
a nightmare.
Don't even get me started.
No,
on
Are
that.
you
no.
guys doing that this year too?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That would actually, if you're okay with it, that'd be cool to film that process.
Yeah. We got to give Trevor a minute. He just shut down emotionally
Yeah,
he's like,
when I reminded him
well,
the
I mean,
trauma.
we roasted at our houses, so it's really
Yeah.
like
They were bringing in the pans of the
Yeah.
pumpkin last time we were here, and it was just there was so many of it, and cut up and roasted, and the amount of time and effort and just the handwork that goes
Yeah,
into
I'm
that.
trying to think. It's like, because we do use pie pumpkin filling too. It's not just straight up roasted pumpkins, but at the end of the day, it's like 140 pounds of pumpkin or something.
Goodness.
So I think it's like 70 pounds fresh roasted pumpkin and 70 pounds the pie filling.
The pie filling. That's
Yeah.
is it the canned
The Libby's,
stuff?
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Or it's Libby's, I think, right?
It
Yeah.
could be. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 That's
Yeah.
I think that's
Comes
the
in an
standard.
orange can, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
We tried a small batch of a pumpkin beer, and we tried using sweet potatoes too, and it was an
Yeah.
absolute tuber nightmare. Like, we're never
Oh,
going to
yeah.
do that again.
Yeah.
I mean, we could try it, but that was
It was
rough.
our
It was really messy.
Oktoberfest
Yeah, there you go.
beer.
Yeah.
October.
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, it sounded amazing, but when you actually have to execute it, it's a lot more difficult than you think.
Probably got to be a lot of potatoes you got to roast, you know.
Yeah,
Potatoes are a
yeah.
lot smaller than pumpkins, so
Yeah,
yeah,
but it's getting through the mashes. That's
it's annoying.
it is
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
rice hulls.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Awful.
It does make the mash a cool color, though, I will say.
Yes, yeah.
So
Until
it's got like 30 minutes of fun, and then you're like, this sucks.
yeah,
You know?
and then your mash sticks
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
stir it back up again. And, yeah, I can't. Yeah, no, I'm having flashbacks now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm shutting down. That's funny. So any other seltzers that you guys are planning on doing in the future, or is it just? I mean, because like you said, it's you got your blueberry. It's nice to have the option. It's not a
Right.
huge seller, so this area they may not.
Yeah, I mean, it sells like, I say it's not a good seller, but it sells fairly quick for
Yeah.
what it is.
Okay.
But this is the first time doing the blueberry lemonade. Before that, we did the huckleberry, and
Okay.
we've done that one for like a year. So I'm like, let's switch it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll probably go back to the huckleberry, but we'll see.
So
It's-
you're planning on just keeping one tap of seltzer. You're not gonna
Yeah.
really expand that. I mean, you
Right.
have so many good beers on tap.
I
It
just-
would be
yeah.
hard to be. What do we pull?
Right.
'Cause they're so
Yeah, I'm not
popular.
going to pull a beer for a seltzer, but
No.
it is nice having it, and we will probably always have one on tap.
Just play with the flavors and try
Yeah.
something, mix it up a little
Absolutely,
bit.
yeah. Don't go overboard with it, But yeah, we'll always have one,
Yeah.
and just kind of rotate flavors.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe depending on the year, who knows, do something different. So I thought blueberry lemonade would be a good summer. So
Oh, that's a good
Oh,
one.
nice.
It's
It
Yeah.
sounds
delicious.
amazing, actually.
yeah,
It was really good. You can actually taste the flavor of the
Yeah.
blueberry and the lemon, and the lemonade gives it a very slight
yeah,
sour taste, but it's not puckering.
Yeah.
It was really smooth. So. And it does finish almost dry, like a champagne kind of. Like, I
Right.
prefer dry ciders and dry seltzers, so I highly recommend it. It wasn't sweet at all. It tasted more like kind of a champagne drink
Sure.
with some
Yeah.
flavor in it. So
Yeah.
it was really good.
Yeah. No, it was really good. The light and refreshing. Yeah, that was delicious.
Cool.
Yeah. So thank you for letting us taste that.
Yeah,
That was
heck yeah.
good.
Question: remind me, when do you guys release your tap handles, like, or your mug club? Is that for your anniversary? Or?
We raffle some off for the anniversary, but that's really it. Otherwise, we have a waiting list that's shut off because, like last year, I think the waiting list is like 25 people right now, which doesn't seem like a lot, but last year only 2 people didn't renew.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I mean, if it keeps going at that rate, or even let's say even 5 to 6, the people at the bottom of the list, they're not going to get on it until 4 years from now.
Right?
know.
Yeah.
So
Wow. And you cap it at
100.
100.
So
okay.
yeah, there's more than 100 up there because of the raffle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that,
I mean, that's
That's
a
it.
lot still.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, and there might be like one person he just comes in maybe once or twice a year, and that's it.
Well, hey, if he's
And he's
doing
paying it. Yeah, he's
right?
paying for it. So
He's supporting local.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing
So-
wrong with that.
but other than that, like pretty much every single one of those people on their board come in like once or twice a week,
Yeah.
That's
at least.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I have a guy that comes in every day, so it's one of those things.
He's
so-
definitely, it's worth it that for
Yeah,
him.
if you look
yeah.
at the handles, the dark ones are the ones that are used the most. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
That's what she said.
yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, kid. That was too perfect.
I don't know if I have the.
There you go.
There it is.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we gotta feed him. We can't take him
Yeah.
anywhere.
It's that prickly pear sour
Yeah.
is getting to him already. So for the raffle then, do you guys, how does that work then? on
Yeah,
that
so
day?
like every time a customer buys a beer for the anniversary, they get a ticket, and then we have different boxes labeled with different prizes. So they just put their name and number on it, and then they just put it in whatever one they want.
Cool.
And then at the end of the weekend, usually it's Monday when we all come in here and we're all tired, from the anniversary, we do the drawings.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, asking
Yeah.
for a friend because I want to make sure I get a ticket in
yeah,
there.
yeah. So it's crazy, man. It really is. The amount of tickets that are in that Mug Club one.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So
That's got to be so flattering, though.
It's
and,
cool.
And
Yeah.
I don't know, makes you feel that you're really doing something that people are enjoying
Yeah.
and want to be a part of.
yeah,
and,
absolutely.
You know, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
You have a lot to be proud of with that. That's very cool.
Yeah, well, it's cool because they get the first right of refusal, right? So if they don't want to do it, then it passes on. But we don't have 100 new members each year, which is cool,
Yes.
right? So some of the guys have been in there from day one, so it's cool that they still come back. When they come here, and I hang out with them, some of them outside of work now, so
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah.
The relationships we've made is pretty cool.
I'd
So-
say it's almost like they're part of the family, but I think
Yeah,
your family's already here, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
they're the extended family.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it says a lot with kind of how everything is with the economy and everything getting so expensive that people still want to do it and people
Right.
aren't
Yeah,
backing out of it and still coming
Right.
in. So that's a true testament to what you guys are doing. So
And there's been a lot of uncertainty and stuff just with everything kind of going on. Have you noticed an impact as far as business going up or down, or really no impact? And
for us up here, we really haven't had much impact.
That's
I
good.
mean, we've I thought it might have slowed down for the summer by now, but
Yeah.
it really has not, which is really cool.
well, and all the
Yeah.
snowbirds are gone.
Yeah.
They've
But-
migrated.
Yeah, yeah. But like up in this part of Phoenix, we really don't get a whole lot of them.
Okay.
We might get a few like people that they're just looking out for a new brewery, but we have a really good local support up here that we stay busy pretty
They're
much.
here year
Yeah,
round.
yeah.
Well, that's good.
Like summer is summer in Arizona, right? So like you'll have one good weekend, then the next weekend, you already know people are out of town or something like that, and it might slow down a little bit, but it's not crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, and the fact that you've expanded and added,
yeah.
the
And outside sales will help, right?
yes,
so,
the bigger fermenters, the other bright tanks,
Yeah.
like you're expanding and not doing it at a super crazy rate.
Sure.
'Cause I think that's one of the things too, with a lot of the breweries that they expand too quickly
Yeah.
and they get overextended, and so
Yeah,
doing it kind of naturally, I think is
Yeah,
is
it's-
a smart way to go.
Yeah,
and not
I
at a
agree.
slow growth because you guys are
It is pretty slow, but like each year we've tried to add at least one fermenter.
Uh-huh.
So this past year, we added the two.
yeah.
So and they're twice the size of the other one. So
The 14 barrel,
Yeah.
those are big.
yeah, they're big.
They're so pretty
Yeah,
though.
yeah, they're cool. They look nice. We kept all the matching set up here though. So these were all the original tanks that we got,
Mhm.
well, from the original company. So we thought we'd just keep them all up front so they all match.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, and it makes it. I mean, you don't realize how big that space is back there. Just looking here, you see,
Oh yeah.
the
yeah.
tanks of the brew system, and you don't realize how far around the corner
Mhm.
that stuff goes. And
Right.
you guys have utilized the space efficiently. 'Cause you got
Yeah,
a
you
lot
can
of
call it that.
stuff
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you fit all that stuff back there, but there's still room to walk around, and
Yeah. I mean, it gets a little tight back there, like when
Sure.
we're canning and stuff
Yeah.
off the 15 barrel. I mean, we're trying to fit the canner, which isn't very big, but all of us, it's a little challenging.
plus
but
the cans,
yeah.
plus the machine,
Yep.
plus yeah.
Yep. So other than that, it's really not that bad.
How
Yeah.
much are you canning off of the fermenters? I mean,
Yeah, it depends on the beer. Like, usually at least like 40 cases for off the 15.
wow.
Off the 15.
Uh,
Yeah, off the 15 anyways. But I try and there's a couple places that take our cans, so I try and make sure that they're happy, and then we don't have a problem selling them here.
Yeah.
So, because like the Nelson, we're out of the Nelson right now, so we had 40 cases of that, and it flew out of here, and like,
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy. So we do a fairly good amount of to-go sales here
Yeah.
too. So that's the balancing act, is like how much do you really want to distribute? Because obviously you make more here.
Mhm.
So we're still trying to fine tune that process.
Yeah.
See what we can do and what we can't do.
Yeah, if you can move it in house, margins are always better.
Yeah,
and that's especially for all the work that you put in, that's the best way to go. But then when you can't push anything else out the brewery and you're
Yeah.
kind of tapped,
Right.
so to speak,
Sure.
capped at that point, good IPA,
Yeah.
that is delicious.
Yeah.
You have to find other ways if you still have the capacity to be able to distribute. So
Yeah.
going outside the brewery at that point makes sense. But
Yeah.
if you're not able to sell everything inside,
Then, yeah.
no point distributing.
Yeah.
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 So you're getting to that point where you're starting to entertain it.
Yeah. And it is cool. Like we've only had so what Valley Luna is, the Mexican restaurant in town.
Yes.
Yeah. So they opened up Lunatics off 67th and Avenue in Happy Valley. So,
Really?
yeah. They took over another pre-existing restaurant, and it's like more of like a a bar.
It's like a sports bar kind of
Kind of,
thing?
yeah.
Okay.
But they have Nelson over there, and they've had it for 2 weeks, and I've already had many people that have never heard of us come over here because they had Nelson over there. So that is also.
I didn't even think about
yeah,
that.
so that is really cool to see. Just like
Someone tries the beer, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I gotta go check them out,
Yeah.
and they'll make
Yeah.
the trip.
Yep.
Please, based on
Yeah.
that.
So that's like that's an added bonus to distribution, especially for us.
Marketing.
Yeah.
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 that you're
Yeah,
making
it
money
is.
on.
Yeah.
And you're
So-
still keeping it local too,
Yeah.
which is really nice. I feel like that's the best part about it is I think all of us here try to support local restaurants and
Yeah,
breweries.
absolutely.
So it's nice that it's kind of paying it forward too.
Yeah.
So
Yep. So it is cool having our beer over there, and
yeah.
it's not that far, but still people haven't heard of us that are over there. So it is nice to hear them say, "Yeah, we had it there. Never heard of you. Here we are."
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's kind of rewarding.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, and you guys are kind of tucked away in this
little bit,
in
yeah.
this area,
Yeah.
so it's you probably don't get a ton of drive-by traffic really
No.
from the main roads.
No. Yeah. I
Um,
mean, just people like going in and out of the apartments here, the CrossFit gym and stuff like that.
I think you were telling us last time too when they were building the apartments over here. A lot of the construction workers would come by and be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, let's."
Yeah.
No, we're not open.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh gosh, how cool would that be if you lived right there? I could just stumble home every night.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few people. I mean, yeah.
You
Yeah.
can only do that if you get on the mug club.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true,
Yeah.
Yeah.
true.
Got to make it worth it.
I just think it's really cool that you guys are, and canning's become so popular, but you guys can so much. Because I remember the days when you'd bring your growler in and it would be a hot mess and you open it and it's never the same if you don't drink it all the same
Yeah,
day. But
yeah.
I just feel like with the cans, they're so much fresher and like, I don't know, it's just fun to be able to share it with people.
It's a lot easier for
Oh,
sure.
gosh, yeah, for sure. But
Yeah, because if you only want one beer instead of opening a growler, then
Yeah.
pouring it, and then having it go flat overnight, you have 4 sealed cans ready to go.
yeah, and it's a little easier to take it places
Yeah.
too. So.
Well, I still do growler fills here, and people leave them in their car all day, and and it's like
Empty or
Empty.
after? Oh, good.
Empty.
So they're
But-
especially in Arizona.
but they don't clean them, right? So like
Yeah.
in the summer, they'll come in, and I open this thing up, and I'm like, okay, give me a couple minutes, I got to go clean this out. Yeah, I mean,
I've been cleaning the brewery all day. It's fine. I will clean your
Yeah.
growler.
But like when they don't clean them, it sits in the heat all day, and there's still
Yeah.
some residue. So you open it up, and there's pressure built up in there because
Like opening a
Yeah.
tomb.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
And then
no.
just I trauma with just trying to get it to pour and fill right too
Oh, yeah.
at that point because
yeah,
that was always the worst too, is the tube and trying to get it to fill without just being a whole foam bomb.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. I'm glad people don't do them as often. Cans are the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the Crowler cans, the 32-ounce cans are.
Oh, it's
pretty
still
sweet.
great. It's so
Yeah.
sealed up, protected from
Yeah.
light. Like,
Yep.
and they're not bringing it back for you to clean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like I used to my first job was a bag boy.
Okay.
There would always be old ladies milking so would bring in their cloth bags.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Gently,
yeah.
So you open it up and just cat hair.
Oh.
At least it wasn't a dead cat or something.
That would
Yeah,
That would ruin you.
yeah,
Trauma unlocked.
yeah,
This, I don't think you're aware.
yeah.
Are you missing Fluffy? Found him. It's a bit ripe. Yes.
oh my gosh.
Oh, these beers are fantastic. Now
Good.
this
Yeah.
has been fantastic. So
Clearly, we're enjoying it.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, then the anniversary's coming up, and then after that, I want to do 4 new beers for Stranger Things final season. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we already have one Stranger Things themed beer called Shreddy Munson. Eddie Munson, but the can is him, shredding the guitar on the trailer. But I'm gonna do an upside down Nelson. So it'll be a West Coast version of Nelson. So, it's usually a hazy, so the upside down is a West Coast. We'll do the Shreddy, and we'll have a couple other themed beers to
When
go
is-
along.
Forgive my ignorance. When's the final
It's
season?
in
of-
November.
So it'll be after your
Yeah,
anniversary.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll have
but
time.
you're going to launch 4 beers for anniversary and then go
yeah.
right into launching 4 more beers for that.
Yep.
Wow.
The people like the themed beers. They really
yeah.
do.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll have some good artwork for that too.
Yes. Yeah. We already got the guy that we have our labels, or he does our labels for us. He's already working on some of them. So
Okay.
yeah.
Now, is it the same guy that was doing it before, or have you
Yeah.
changed?
No, same guy. Yeah, we have a couple guys that do them. Yeah. but yeah, the normal anniversary guy is doing the Stranger Things ones. So yeah,
Oh, that'll be fun. We'll have to
Yeah.
check that out. Yeah.
Yeah. For the anniversary, are you gonna be releasing everything kind of at the same time, or is it
yeah,
like days?
we do
Okay.
we do it all one day, just because like some people can go on a Friday, but they can't go Saturday or Sunday. So we're just gonna, release them all on the Friday. I think that's better, anyways.
Yeah. No, agreed. I was just curious because that was my biggest gripe is what if I can't go on like
Yeah.
a certain day and I really want that beer? So that's cool.
Because there's been a couple anniversaries that we've been to where they release certain beers on certain days.
Yeah, and it's
And sometimes they sell out. So if you
Sure.
miss it on that day and you come back the next day, it's like, oh,
Right.
yeah, it was great. Yeah, can I get some? No.
yeah,
You should have been here yesterday. What do you have today? Nothing.
So yeah, we can a lot, so we make sure that we won't run out that weekend. So we usually have it like another week or two after.
Okay.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
But have you been here for one of the anniversaries?
Not
No.
yours. No.
Yeah, it's packed in here. Yeah, it's packed in here. So
It's packed on a normal Wednesday after work, so I can't imagine what it's like
yeah,
during the
it's
anniversary.
not fun, but it's really cool. Yeah, it is very cool. Because we usually have a line from the bar to the door for like 4 hours straight. Sometimes, yeah. I think Saturday and Sunday we've asked them. We haven't locked it down, but Friday is Gabiche. They are excellent. They do pizza and wings. Yeah, and they're really good. And Saturday, I think I told her to ask the taco truck. I can't remember which one. And then Sunday might be barbecue. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah, that sounds really good. Where do you have room for them out?
They sit up front, just right up there.
Right against the curb.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So Friday it'll be the Gabiche truck, and then Frosted Frenzy, I think, and they do cupcakes. Yeah. And it was Po' Boys. Man. Yeah. Was it the truck that had the big alligator on it? Oh man, yeah, they don't do it anymore. Yeah, I loved them. They were so nice. Yeah, yeah. What was their name? It was Zydeco. Something. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So good. They were good. And then they were all family too. Like Top was the husband and the father, and his wife and his daughter were working on the truck. So he took the orders, and oh man, their gumbo was so good. Yeah. Yeah. No, their gumbo is good. No, I went out to order gumbo one night, and they had sold out of it, and his wife was like, "No, I'll make you some right now," and she just made it and it was so good.
Wow.
So she just made a little small batch just for me. They were so nice. Yeah.
It's incredible what they can do in those food trucks.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, they were cool.
during the
Tomodachi.
Tomodachi. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Tomodachi.
I was gonna say Kitsune Beer Fest. No, the Tomodachi Beer Fest. They had a couple food trucks, and I managed to poke my head in one of them. Munchie Mouth, I think was the one. And just the amount of square. It's like your
Tiny.
back space, right?
Oh, yeah.
Very efficient with the space usage. It's amazing what they can do
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how they can cook, and just the quality of the food, and it just.
Yeah, food trucks have come a long way.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, we were speaking with I think it was North Mountain, and Candy was talking about back in the day of the 20 years ago, where it was the food trucks. They call them roach coaches. It
Yes.
was just like do not eat from
Yeah.
those. No. Now it's like high quality gourmet. Even what you would typically wouldn't consider to be high end or gourmet, like pizza or
Sure.
wings, or is really high quality stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they're pumping out good food.
Yeah, yeah, which I
So,
think is great, and I
yeah.
think it's good that they've got that relationship with the breweries to
Yeah, I don't know how that became a thing, but I'm really glad it did.
Right?
You know.
yeah.
So yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I know
yeah,
it's not perfect because you got to find that group that shows
Sure.
up consistently.
Sure.
I can't remember who we were talking to about they say they had a flat tire and they would send a
Oh.
picture of it.
Yeah, I probably know who you're talking about. I'm not gonna,
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
That's fine. But
yeah.
it was like they showed there's a guy a flat tire. Here's the picture, and then they ended up
going somewhere
going
else.
somewhere
Yeah.
else. But then they I got a flat tire, and they sent like the same picture.
Yeah, and then you
It's
see
like,
him 20 minutes later posting on social media. They're somewhere else. Yeah, they're whatever. We don't. If we don't care, right? If there's a better opportunity for you, take it. Just please give us notice.
Well,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
They've got to make money. They got to
Yeah.
survive. And if they have something that's a better opportunity, I
Yeah.
mean,
Just give us a heads up.
You got to have a heads
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
because that's
kind of
It
screwing us
screws you
over.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's supposed to
So-
be you guys working together
Yeah, yeah.
as much as possible. So, and I know as you go through, there are some that maybe you don't invite back because they're maybe not as consistent
Yeah.
or so hopefully the group that you've got now is pretty
we-
consistent.
yeah,
They've got
we
a
have
good
a good lineup.
following.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so once you get that dialed in, hopefully that becomes less of a headache.
Yeah, it's not as bad. Starting it up was kind of terrible.
That's
right?
what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to find the
Yeah,
ones
for
that are consistent.
my sister does all that, so
Okay.
it's definitely harder on her than it is on me. I'm just like, oh, okay.
So does she have the same reaction when I say food trucks to her as when we say pumpkin to you?
Probably
Is it
yeah.
that same kind
Yeah,
of emotional
probably.
shutdown?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So yeah,
Well, I
it's a
mean,
headache.
the good thing is that food trucks nowadays have their own following in it themselves,
Yeah.
so you
Yeah.
get a lot of that kind of crossover too,
Yeah.
where people I have so many friends that look on their schedule and be like, "Oh, that's close. I'm just gonna go for the food truck," but of course they're gonna come in and see
Right.
like what you guys are all about. So it's kind of marketing itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
I'd be curious to the people that follow the food trucks that they've stopped by here not knowing that you were here. They were just following the food truck and they're
Yeah, I
like,
don't
"Oh,
know.
we're coming back."
Yeah, there's
I'd be-
one in particular that's it's very new. It's called Shawarmania, and they park here, and they usually sell out, and like half the people that go get their food don't even come in here, which is totally cool as long as they're here and they're
'Cause they're
doing
taking
okay.
care of your patrons, they're still making enough money, so
Exactly.
that's okay.
That's totally cool.
Yeah.
But maybe customers that go to them, they had never heard of us.
Right.
So yeah,
So you might get some.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
because he was here last Thursday, and I'm like, he apparently sold out, and that was awesome. And
Wow.
I looked at our sales, I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, he sold it. And everyone must have ordered like 5 shawarmas. I mean, it was a busy Thursday, but I'm like, dang, man. But he had like a ton of people lined up out there just for him, and that's
Wow.
very cool.
Good for him.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what you kind of want.
Yeah.
So
Well, because then they'll show up no matter where they are. They're
Yeah,
not going to bail on
yeah.
you, but you kind of hope you get a little bit of bleed over from their stuff. Like,
Yeah.
come on in, guys.
yeah,
I bet
Yeah.
you some of those people come back because, like, honestly, I didn't know about you guys until my friend said, "Hey, I found this brewery.
okay,
Let's go over there." And it just coincidentally it was like probably a couple months before Brian had talked about you guys.
okay, cool. Yeah, well,
That was when you guys had the food truck.
yeah, Zydeco. Yeah. I mean, I missed that truck. Yeah, yeah. I think it was just like it got too much for them, because they were doing the TSMC up here because they had a bunch of food trucks while they were under construction, so
Yeah.
they were really busy, and I think they just kind of was
Yeah.
which is too bad.
That's a shame.
Yeah, but they were good.
Yeah, I remember trying to scope out when we first came here. We came here on a couple. It was Saturdays or Sundays, Christy? What day were we?
Sundays.
Sundays?
Yeah.
I think we finished shooting or something because we do the YouTube stuff on on another channel. Teach people how to homebrew and stuff. So we get done, and so we'd pop over and stuff, and just started talking to your parents who were behind the bar, and just oh
Yeah.
my gosh, yeah. Yeah, we definitely we should have them on. If you'll allow it,
Go
if you'll
ask
bless
them.
it.
Yeah, I don't care. You got to talk to them. Yeah, yeah,
No, we'd love to sit down and talk to them and get kind of more of the history because it's fascinating, just everything that brought you guys to this point, and
yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I think the first time I came in here was with a coworker of mine, and I think we found you guys on social media, ironically,
Okay.
and it was like, oh my gosh, there's a brewery right down the street from us, and we
Yeah.
didn't know about. And the first time we came in here, it was like, okay, we're coming back. I think I had the Nelson,
Okay,
obviously,
cool,
which
yeah.
I can't stop talking about, but. I was like, this is so cool. It just reminded me of the old school craft beer scene in an industrial park, but it was in such a good location. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, and then seeing how busy it was, and then the decor, it was just a really cool vibe. But I remember we couldn't even find a seat; like we had to be in like the bar quarter
Okay, yeah.
standing up. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. We're very fortunate, very fortunate. But yeah, it's fun because we never really did any advertising. We rely heavily on word of mouth and social media, right? So, and people, word of mouth, tell your friends, right?
yeah.
So that's kind of what we rely on, and it's worked out so far. Yeah,
It kind of
Yeah.
built up a natural market for you. Just and again, it's that slow growth.
Yeah.
That if they find out and they're being recommended, then they're not just
Yeah.
answering an ad. There's my friends recommended it, and I'm going to come try it out. And so you end up with a very loyal fan base.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Yeah.
So
I think this is going to be really controversial, but I think for me at least, everyone's different. But I think there's something to be said about consistency, and I think you can always play around with your beers, and I know a lot of people tweak their beers, but I feel like if there's a beer I like, I want to go back because I know it's the style I like, and I want the same taste. And I know that people consistently play around, but I feel then you don't really know what you're getting. If you really like a beer, you're just going to come back for that beer, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. So like, I always have like Nelson on, and I keep that pretty much the same, but like for like this one, there's a couple that I rotate in and out of it. So if you like this one, though, I will have other ones that you will like too. So that's kind of the challenge is keeping, having new beers that are similar but totally different, if that makes any sense. That I know, that you'll like. Yeah. If you like this style, then I have another one that you like too, right? And that's the challenge. But it's fun. That's the fun part of it.
I feel like too, especially for someone that's brewing consistently at a brewery. It always has kind of a certain, I don't want to say flavor profile, but you're brewing based on your taste.
Sure.
And obviously you're trying to keep your patrons happy and stuff, but there are certain things that you identify and that you like and that you enjoy.
Yeah,
100%.
and
that resonate with you as this is good beer, this is balanced beer, this is what it is. And so I think your particular taste lends all of your beers to have a specific vein.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
and so you can sometimes tell, I know who brewed this because it's in that vein of what they prioritize as far as flavors and things.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
This is kind of a dumb question because I don't know, because it's big batch, right? So like I don't know, but like I agree that there's breweries that you can instantly almost tell that it's that brewery.
Yeah.
Is it have anything to do with the recipe and the ingredients, or is it like let's say, because I'm from the East Coast, it's like people from the East Coast can tell it's a New York pizza because of the water profile. Is it that distinct, or is it more just based on the recipe itself?
I think you can tell based on like base ingredients. Like if we have a grain supplier from here, someone else gets a different, same grain from a different supplier, I think you can tell a difference. I think you can.
Absolutely, yes. We had an issue with our homebrew where the local homebrew shop had switched vendors that they were using, and they were trying to get the least expensive two-row.
Yeah, and
there was a huge impact.
Yeah.
Our gravity wasn't hitting, the flavor wasn't quite right. It was disastrous.
Yeah, it's not even just the flavor, right? Good point on the gravity.
Yeah.
You won't, some grain isn't as efficient as others, right?
Yeah.
So
we'd be mashing out, weren't hitting the gravity. It wasn't converting as fast. It was just, it was a nightmare of.
Yeah, I mean, I can go into a place and, there's one place I don't really like, and I can almost tell immediately if they use it or not.
They're using that. Yeah.
And they can still make good beers with it, but it always has that flavor that you kind of associate with it,
Yeah.
So
I'm going to blame the grain for my shitty beers.
there you go.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Well, you remember, I mean, how it is home brewing. Like, that was the worst because it was the same recipe we've used every time consistently. And I know things change and variables change, but we've tried it multiple times with the same recipe and we still weren't hitting, and everything was clean. We even used a new fermenter, used new equipment, and there was only one thing left, and it had to be the grain. But we just didn't think that it would be that much of an impact.
Yeah, it's amazing how big of an impact that makes.
Yeah. And like I said, you can still make good beers with pretty much everything out there. It's just, what are you going to do with it after, right?
Right.
How are you going to balance it? I'm not an expert. Yeah.
Dude, you're getting paid to make beer. Yeah. You are a god.
Yeah.
You've made it.
Yeah.
We are all so impressed.
What is a key essential for a beginner brewer?
Beginning brewer, make sure everything is clean.
I was going to say you got to learn. You got to live.
You got to make sure everything's clean because I've
80% of it.
I've had some people bring me in beer and I'm just like, whoa, that is, what is this? It's just basically cleaning and temperature control is the two biggest things, right? But cleaning, same thing with here. Cleaning comes first. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be clean.
Yeah.
And
it's not fun.
And keep your yeast happy.
It's not sexy, right? But you got to do it. You got to clean it.
Yeah.
It's like the worst part of the job is doing that, but it's the most important job.
It is.
Yeah.
It's got to be clean because if you can't clean it,
you
can't sanitize
But
it.
temperature control. If you have the ability to keep temperature control, that's going to make your beers 100 times better. Yeah.
Because that helps control the yeast and what they're expressing as far as the esters and the flavors and things. So those are
because if you're fermenting in your closet, you have no way to keep that thing cold or whatever temperature you want. So it's just going to keep going and going and going. and then you're gonna be like, what the heck is this? You know? Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when the yeast ferments at a hotter temperature, it's happy to do it.
Yeah.
Loves doing it.
Yeah.
But you'll get a very weird flavored beer.
Yeah, I mean, because I've forgotten, there's a couple batches I forgot to turn the glycol on, so I didn't notice it until like 2 days later, and it went from like 60 degrees all the way up to like 85 degrees, and the ambient temperature in the brewery is 72. So I mean, it'll get real warm.
yeah, the
if you don't let
fermentation
it-
generates its own heat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's energy, right? The yeast is fermenting. It's creating
It's
energy.
their metabolism,
Yeah,
and they're eating
yeah,
the sugar and converting it. Yeah, it's
yeah. So
I can't
yeah,
remember what
temperature
that's
control
called.
and yeah,
Cleaning.
cleanliness. Yeah,
A lot of cleaning.
Yeah.
yeah.
I fermented one of our carboys in my apartment, but I was so nervous about the temperature that I kept my thermostat so low, and like
Oh,
my
yeah.
APS bill was the worst ever.
Yeah.
But
You
it was
probably got
almost too,
sick.
it was too
Yeah.
cold because it stopped fermenting because I was so worried
Oh,
about it. Yeah,
jeez.
I know. It was probably lower than that.
Yeah.
So-
Well, she also stressed the yeast out. She made it a little neurotic because
I
she
know
kept
every
checking on
every
it.
day I was like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
because it has the little bobber, and like I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
okay, is there enough water in it? Like, yeah, it was the most stressful experience. I won't do it again.
How's your beer taste? It tastes like it's been through some stuff.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This tastes like trauma.
Yeah, that's funny. Though.
Trauma IPA.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I know. We gotta do more shirts. Get some more shirts going. Except no one buys our shirts.
This beer tastes stressed.
Yeah.
You didn't listen to Charlie Papazian. Don't worry, relax, have a homebrew. No, I stress my beer out.
Yeah.
So, and I think I've asked you before, how many, you were a home brewer prior to doing this. How many years did you brew? You started in like 2016?
I don't know. Maybe like 5 or 6
5 or
years.
6 years
yeah,
before
something like
doing
that.
home
Yeah, I
brew.
don't know.
So, but up to like a 5-gallon batch.
Yeah, we did. We started at 5 gallon. Like most home brewers, extract brewing, right? And then my dad built a brew stand, and we did 10 gallon all grain. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
It was fun having all my friends over and drinking the beers that we made. So
Yeah.
it was fun.
that's how they get you.
Yeah,
And then you open a brewery.
yeah, yeah.
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
the end of that.
Yeah, I'll never forget it though, man. It was when we were still extract brewing. We brewed a clone of Ruination IPA from Stone.
Oh.
I love that beer.
Me
Wow.
too.
And yeah, we kegged it and it was ready to drink. And I had to go to work, and I had one beer before I went to work. And I came back that night, and my dad had the 2 neighbors over, and they drank the 5 gallon keg. And oh yeah, and the one neighbor had to have his daughter come pick him up, and he lived 2 houses down. He couldn't walk home 2 houses down. Yeah,
Wow.
but yeah, stuff like that. I mean, you'll never forget memories like that because that's the cool thing about homebrewing is you can share memories with like that with your friends and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun doing that.
Well, and you have a little more freedom than commercial brewing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you experiment with ingredients, and
Yeah.
the batch cost doesn't really matter because it's more about the
Right.
brewing and the
True.
creation, and going commercial or doing it professionally is
Yeah,
a
it's
little bit trickier.
a little bit different. It's a lot more stressful.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Because if you mess something up, that's
If people don't like it, then we're like, well,
it's not a $60 mistake.
yeah, I
It's-
can't drink. I could drink a mistake of a 5 gallon beer.
Right.
But I can't drink.
7 barrels worth.
Yeah, 15 kegs. Yeah. I don't
You
have
going
that
to
many
work this
friends.
early? Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta fix a mistake.
Yeah.
Gotta start
So
early.
it's fun.
That's always our code word if one of the beers doesn't come out quite right. It's like, I bet that if we cooked with it, it would be really good.
Yeah. Yeah, just boil it down a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet if we boiled hot dogs in this thing, it would
Yeah.
the hot dogs would taste better.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny.
How much transitioning from homebrewer into the commercial side of it? Did you notice that your recipes began to you would simplify them down? Because as a home brewer, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do 4 ounces of chocolate malt.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to do, and it's like, okay, really?
Yeah.
Commercially, did that change?
You kind of realize you don't need stuff like that
Yeah.
as much as you thought you did. But the biggest adjustment was the scaling of the recipes because obviously this equipment is way more efficient than a little 5 gallon or 10 gallon homebrew batch. That's how Toasty Blonde came to be because it was a 5.2% recipe, blonde ale recipe.
Yeah.
And we extracted so much sugar out of the grain that ended up being 7.5%. Yeah.
So that was one of the first ones you were doing?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
the first beer we did.
I didn't realize it was that much more efficient. It makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
It totally
Like,
makes sense.
Like in the book, how you build your recipes, I think it was like everything was based off like a 67% like mash efficiency.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting like 90 to 95% efficiency
Holy
on this.
cow.
So yeah,
Wow.
it took me some time to figure that part
Dialed
out.
that
yeah,
in.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Do you think
so-
that's typical of most systems like this?
Well, if you have no like training on how to use stuff, for making that jump, then I'm sure it is. But like, yeah, we were learning as we went. So
Do you think it has to do with the size of
I think
the
so.
equipment, or is it because it's been specifically designed to be as efficient as possible?
I think when we get grain delivered here, it's a lot, fresher than the stuff you're getting at the homebrew shop too.
True.
You know what I mean? Who knows how long,
Yeah, it's been sitting on the shelf.
Yeah.
'Cause they buy it in the pallets.
I know they don't
shipping, and it's gonna
they don't
sit
mill
there.
it. You mill it yourself,
Correct.
but who
Yeah.
knows? Who's to say?
That's true.
Right? That's what they say about like yeast and stuff too, because who knows how long it's been sitting on that shelf there,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think it has a mixture, or it's a mixture of fresher ingredients. The equipment's fine tuned to do that,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's just the volume. So I think it's like a combination of the three.
It helps to
Yeah.
kind of improve overall. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I feel better about myself then. Okay, good.
Yeah,
It's not my fault.
yeah,
when we used to brew and Brian prints out the sheets, I can't remember the
Beersmith.
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 Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he would always put like the assistant brewer, and depending on who his assistant brewer was, the beer efficiency would be higher or lower. So when his sister was the assistant brewer, it was like a 90% efficiency,
I
and
don't
it
think we
was
ever got that
when
high.
it was me, it was like 65%.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
good.
Like I'm noticing a trend with all my brew sheets here. Like,
That's
yeah,
funny, yeah.
yeah. When my sister's here, we're pushing 85% efficiency. That's really good. Christy's here, we're 60. Wait, what happened? Only one thing has changed.
Yeah.
On this
Yeah.
brew day. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, I think it's because I was the cleaner. I really didn't do a lot.
Oh,
to
cleaning?
help. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was the
We
designated.
talked about this last time, I think. She was
Yeah.
complaining about how long the brew days were because
Oh,
you
yeah.
said that your brew day is like 7 hours.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like 10 to 12.
Yeah, yeah,
Chrissy's like, "What are you doing wrong?" I'm like, "I don't have a helper. That's fine."
yeah, yeah.
How much do your parents do on the brew day and stuff? Is
Quite
it
a bit, yeah.
They
yeah,
do.
My dad will. So I get here at 4 a.m, and then my dad and my mom show up at like 8, and then we mash out pretty much at 8 on the dot. So that's a big help.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we have it kind of streamlined to get all the false bottom out. He carries it out to me. I rinse it off, take it back in, then yeah. So he helps with the cleaning.
Okay.
He does a
Wow.
lot of the cleaning. So yeah, he likes it. Yeah.
Some people do. It's
Yeah, I
kind
don't
of
know- I don't know
a
about
cathartic
that,
thing,
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
you're getting stuff done. You're
Yeah, so
accomplishing things.
By the time we get here at 8, like I'm usually boiling, and then clean the mash tun out, and then we transfer, do that, clean all the stuff, and then we go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually, hopefully by 11:30, hazy's 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's a long. I mean, I think it's people that. I mean, we know, but I think people that go to breweries do not understand how long, like the process is, and how early the
Yeah.
days are. Like it's crazy how long your
How
days
much goes
are.
into
yeah.
it? And I talk to a lot of people that they're, oh, you're brewing beer. Can I taste it? No,
Yeah.
come back in 3 weeks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still actually kind of shocks me. They're like, "Well, how long does it actually take?" I'm like, 3 weeks. They're like, "What?" They're shocked. I'm like, "Well, what did you expect? I'm not just. This isn't a Soda Stream back there. I can't just. But some people think that's how it works.
Yeah.
So
It's a Keurig for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
You can
Yeah.
just throw
Yeah.
it in some
Yeah.
pods. Yeah.
I'll put some pods in there and we'll turn that
Yeah.
down and we'll have beer. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how it works. Yeah, no, it takes time and there's a lot of process
Yeah,
to it
for
and,
sure.
and getting it through. When you're pitching your yeast in your batch stuff, you're using liquid yeast or
use
dried yeast? It depends on what you're brewing.
depends. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you do starters with it or do you just direct
Nope.
pitch
Just,
it in?
just dry pitch. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And you reusing the yeast at all?
Yeah. It depends. Like on the liquid yeast, I 100% try to, but sometimes you can't. Right.
Yeah.
'Cause some of the hazies, we dry hop during active, and we just don't have the equipment to be able to.
Get the hop
Yeah.
true out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a wash. So like tomorrow, I'm brewing a hazy pale ale, and then I'll repitch that yeast and either do Sneaky or Nelson with it. So
Okay.
try and keep it going as long as I can.
Yeah.
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 But it's tricky with those. But I have a lager yeast going. I'll probably use it a couple more times. So
Okay.
try and make it cost efficient because that's, yeast isn't cheap.
No.
Yeah.
No, and especially once you get it through one fermentation and it's
Yeah.
happy,
Yeah, yeah.
it does really well in the next
Yep.
beer.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I have
For
a
a couple
I
generations.
have 2 batches of Mexican lager in there. So I'll repitch it one last time probably to do a Mexican amber. So, and then after that, it'll be, yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
No, we appreciate, again, you letting us come out and,
Yeah.
and bother you again. Again, this is
Yeah.
something we'd love to do and just come out and get updates on what's happening. And
Yeah,
we're
cool.
excited for your new equipment that you've got. And,
Yeah.
obviously the anniversary still a couple months out. So we'll, kind of be looking forward to that
Yeah.
and see if
Yeah.
we can
It'll be fun.
pop
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
we
It's,
we were excited because last time we missed your anniversary and we did podcast it after, so it was
Oh,
too
yeah.
late. So I think it would be cool to be able to also, get some social media out there.
Be part
and
of the
some-
madness.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
It
Yeah.
is, like I said, it sucks, but it's a lot of fun. Like it's, I wish I could come in here and like actually enjoy it, but I'm behind the bar and just like,
Yeah, you're having to work the yeah. But I
Losing
think
my
that's-
mind, yeah.
That's a lot of that, because a lot of us, all three of us, actually come from hospitality. So
Yeah.
it's you're working weekends and holidays.
Yeah.
Like you wish you
Yep.
could be out at the pool, you wish you could be at, but it's just like nope, you're working it so other people can
yeah.
enjoy.
That actually is one of the best things about doing this though, because we can take the holidays off. We're like, yeah, we're closed.
Oh.
Sorry. Yeah. Yep. So I used to have to work like Thanksgiving, all those things.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, sorry.
Yeah, we're closed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go home. yeah.
Go follow that food truck.
Yeah.
We're closed. Yeah. No, but thank you again so much
Yeah.
for letting us come out and bug you again and letting us sit down. And again, if you'll have us back, we'd love to come back and get
Okay.
some more updates and things. And,
Yeah.
and we'll try to maybe hopefully be available for the anniversary if you allow us to come with our cameras. We'd love to shoot some stuff and maybe post some socials and
Sure.
kind of get the kind of the good word out there and get more people down in this area.
Okay, yeah,
because you're,
for sure.
you're kind of on the outskirts here, and great that you've got such a massive following and that,
Yeah, it is
that
cool.
you're constantly
Yeah.
consistent with
We're fortunate.
the
Yeah.
fan base.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, well, thanks, guys.
Thank you guys very
Yeah.
much. We really
Yeah, thank
appreciate
you.
it. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Catch you later, my friends.